I'm Leanne Tran, psychologist who's worked with families whose kids don't fit the mould for almost 20 years. I've worked with children for decades, but I know parents are the real change makers when it comes to their kids. Having 3 kids of my own means I know it's not easy. Parent Like a Psychologist is all about simplifying how you support your kids with psychology information filtered through years of experience to take you from overwhelmed to confident. Come on in.
Think about the last time you weren't being heard. You probably didn't get quieter. You probably got clearer. You probably got firmer, and you probably got louder. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Parent Like a Psychologist, where today we're talking about how behaviour is communication. And it gets louder when people don't listen to it. It's a really common idea for us as psychologists that behaviour is communication. We all always have a reason for what we do. All behaviour has a purpose or a function or a reason underlying it. And because of that, often for kids, it's their way of communicating something. Whether it's, for example, I can't cope with this situation, or I'm overwhelmed, or I need something that I'm not getting. As adults, we have much more capacity to be able to understand our feelings and explain them and advocate for what we need. Kids are still learning that. And so often it's behaviour is a way that they can try to get what they need. It's their way of communicating what they need from us. And the thing is, for all of us, when we're not being heard, we get louder. And so behaviour escalates when the message it's giving us is not heard and responded to. So I love this analogy of, if we're saying something to our friend and they don't listen or they don't hear us, what do? We tend to repeat what we've said. If they didn't hear us again, we might say it louder. Or we might do something else, like get their attention first and then say it. So we don't just say something, get ignored, and then stop. We repeat. We say it louder. We do something differently to try to get the message across. And behaviour is just the same with kids. If they're using a behaviour to show that they need help with something, and we don't respond to it, they'll do it again, or they'll do it louder in a maybe more extreme way or an escalated way. Or if we ignore it, they'll pick another behaviour to try to still get that same message across. So it's a really useful analogy, I think, for us to keep in mind then why our kids are doing these things, and the importance of us to really listen and respond, and to think about what we need to do differently. Do we need to learn or understand our kids and their needs, and do we need to develop new ways of responding and helping them as parents? Kids don't escalate just to be difficult. They really do it based on, not having their needs met and still needing those needs to be met. And so they're trying their best to get what they need. If we don't listen, they will just try a different way or a louder way. So what listening actually looks like in parenting is to be really curious about why our kids are acting a certain way and what is that communicating about what they need. An example would be, a kid who's talking really rudely and being argumentative about things. What is that saying to us? Is that saying that underneath they have trouble with regulating their emotions? Probably. Is it saying that they maybe feel out of control in their environment and they need more control? Is it that they need, they're having trouble thinking flexibly or problem solving? And so we need to be curious about those reasons underneath, and then respond to them. And if you don't know how, then you just got to get some help to understand what your kid's having trouble with and what you can do as a parent. I guess from this, the key message is that really big behaviours usually mean there's some important message that's being missed. Kids don't just do it for no reason, and we can help. I can help figure out what the reason is and find ways to meet those needs, and give your child what they're asking for so that they don't need to use such big behaviour to ask for it. Here I want to say that, big behaviour isn't bad behaviour. If it's escalating, it's not necessarily bad behaviour. It's an unmet need that's asking to be noticed. So if your child's behaviour is a message, what do you think they're trying to say right now? As soon as I said that, I got this image of like Simon Cowell in the, there's that meme where he's like, what do you think I'm going to say to you? That was a little side distraction by my brain. But sometimes the answer is obvious when we think about it in that funny way, but sometimes it's not. Take the moment, though, to reflect. And if your child's behaviour is a message, what do you think they're trying to say? So, in summary, when we shift our thinking from how do I stop this to think about what is my child telling me, everything changes. Connection grows. Each time our kids have their needs met, that relationship grows as well. And the behaviour often softens and becomes smaller. They don't need it to communicate so much because we're already meeting those other needs or understanding it. So if you would like some help understanding what your child's behaviour is communicating, that's something I can help you with. If you would like support that can help you listen with more clarity and less stress when you're responding to the behaviour, then that's something I can help with as well. In closing, I guess what I would say is that, probably most of us don't like that loud behaviour. It can be problematic. It can be, interrupt calm family life and the routines of getting things done. And so listening to our kids' behaviour and understanding it and meeting those needs can really mean that our kids don't need to escalate and for their behaviour to get louder and for it to become more challenging and stressful. Again, you don't have to do it alone. It's hard to work out some of these things, what the behaviour is saying, particularly if your kid's been doing it for a while or if they've got really complex needs. So I'm here and happy to help, be the person who can go through this with you so we can work it out together and you don't have to do it alone. So I hope you've enjoyed some of the time off over this festive season, and it's given you a bit of extra space to think about these things. Sometimes it gives us extra space for our kids as well to not have so many demands of things like school and stuff, and so the behaviour can kind of calm down a little bit, and that's a really good opportunity to reflect on how everything's going and see if we can work out what we might need to do differently. And for you, if that's getting some help, I'd love to be a part of it. So thank you again for tuning in, and I will catch you again soon.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Parent Like a Psychologist. If you found it helpful, please share on Instagram so other parents can benefit too, and tag me at Leanne Tran Psychology so that I can say a big thank you. Head over to leannetran.com.au to join the village for bite-sized psychology tips straight to your inbox. I really hope this podcast has brought a new perspective and you a step closer towards a calm parent and a thriving child. Have a delightful day.